Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we'll talk about all things Disney,
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in news and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when Stacy thought that Storybook Circus was a must-do.
This is episode 42, Must Do Magic Kingdom.
Or, I'm not Stacy, but I play one on our podcast.
So now please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian adventure. Howdy folks, and welcome to episode 42 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And today's topic is the must-dos. The must-dos at the Magic Kingdom. This is a series that we started a little while ago with the must-dos at Epcot.
Of course, started at Epcot.
Yeah, channeling our inner-Stacy from years ago. And
so if you don't get the reference, you're probably not alone, but because we're old. But Stacy used to introduce all of the must-dos to us, and that was on every single TV, on every single hotel room, on property. You'd go into your room, you'd set your stuff down, you'd turn on the TV, and there was Stacy, and she would tell you all of the latest and greatest, everything that was new, everything that was a must-do. So we are continuing our series. This is the second one, and we're tackling the Magic Kingdom today.
So let's dive in there and take a look at the Magic Kingdom Park must-dos.
These aren't ranked. These aren't our personal favorite things, anything like that. These are just the things that we think a first-timer needs to experience at the Magic Kingdom. And this is episode 42, so I guess this means we're bringing you the answers to life, the universe, and everything.
And the Magic Kingdom.
And the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. Apparently Douglas Adams forgot about the answers to the Magic Kingdom when he wrote that book.
No, he knew.
Well, that's true, yeah. So let's jump in and talk about one of the biggest changes since Stacy was around, and that's Genie Plus. We've talked about Genie Plus for other parks and how maybe at Epcot it's not going to be something that you need to buy, but at Magic Kingdom we actually recommend it because there's so many Genie Plus attractions. Now, Genie Plus is the replacement for what used to be called Fast Pass. It is a reservation system that you can use through the My Disney Experience app. It is something that costs a few dollars per person per day, and you buy it day of. But it allows you to go through what's called the Lightning Lane for select attractions at the Magic Kingdom and the other three parks. But at Magic Kingdom, it seems more worthwhile just because there's so many attractions covered by these Lightning Lanes and Genie Plus.
It's true. You can use the free version, which is built into your app, which is just called Genie. He'll give you some selections throughout the day that he thinks are good. Basically, that is wherever there is a short queue. So it's not necessarily things you want to do. We don't actually recommend using just the plain Genie part of the app, but we love using Genie Plus at Magic Kingdom for all the reasons Rod just said, just because it will save you a bunch of time if you use it correctly. We do not have a Genie Plus episode out yet because it keeps changing.
Yeah, a big change will be coming on January 9th of 24 when they get rid of the reservation system for the parks. And that will change things such as when you can park hop. That inevitably will lead to changes with Genie Plus. So in our Season 2, next year in 2024, we will do a Genie Plus episode with all of those new changes and updates and our suggestions for their use.
And in the meantime, if you do have a trip planned, we do recommend that you find a Mammoth Club video featuring Molly. She will show you all the ins and outs of Genie Plus. She is the Genie Plus guru. She is the one absolute go-to, even over Disney themselves. So Look that up if you need to learn how to use Genie Plus in the meantime.
All right, well, let's jump into the must-dos for the Magic Kingdom.
Yes. I don't know why you said it like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, that's maybe because the first one is a dark and stormy night aboard Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean is one of the most known attractions all throughout the Disney parks. It exists at Disneyland originally, and then at the Magic Kingdom, and it's also in Tokyo, Paris, and Shanghai. The Pirates of the Caribbean version at Walt Disney World is a definite must-do, even if you've never seen the movies, which is weird. But What?
See them.
Yeah, see them. Definitely
At least
see
the
them.
first one.
Oh, yes. They're fantastic films. Johnny Depp, he is Captain Jack Sparrow and will always be.
Probably the best movie score ever.
Oh, yeah. Well, along with maybe Indy and Harry Potter.
And Star Wars.
And Star Wars. Okay. So one of the best
but
ever.
Mostly pirates.
But mostly pirates. Pirates of the Caribbean is a water-based dark ride, so it takes place in a boat. It has one small drop, but there is no height requirement. So it's really good for first-timers, just to see the attraction everybody's talked about all these decades, and to see Johnny Depp in audio animatronic form. But the ride itself is dark, but not scary.
The first part's a little scary.
Well, it's a little dark.
It's a little scary because it's all the skeletons. Once you go down the drop, then you go to the fun part. So if you have little kids, they might be scared in that first part. So just talk them through it. Be real patient. But once they get down that very small hill, it gets a lot more fun. And that's where the music kicks in and the pirates who aren't skeletons.
Right. The not-so-dead people.
Right.
Anyway, because Pirates of the Caribbean has been around for so long and is so iconic, it is definitely a Magic Kingdom must-do.
Absolutely. All right, so next up on our list, meet Mickey Mouse.
You have to.
It's his house.
He's the master of the universe
The
at
big
Walt
cheese,
Disney World.
if you will.
Oh, bad joke. But very true, very true.
Now, in addition to this, you might want to meet your favorite character. There are several ways that you can do this. There are meet and greets that you can actually use lightning lanes for a couple of the princesses and Mickey and Minnie. There are meet and greets that are not in the Genie Plus, where you can just get in a small queue and meet them. And there's also character dining. So if you want to spend a little extra so that you have extended time with them, you might choose to do a character breakfast. You can meet Winnie the Pooh and the gang at Crystal Palace. You can meet a whole slew of princesses up in Cinderella's royal table inside the castle. There are lots of locations near Magic Kingdom where you can do character breakfasts with Mickey and Minnie and the Fab Five gang. But if you want to meet characters, Magic Kingdom is definitely a place to do that. And above all, make sure that you meet the main man himself. Go and thank Mickey for a great day at his kingdom.
You can meet Mickey and Minnie at Town Square Theater right there at the entrance of Main Street, near the main entrance of the park. Over in Storybook Circus, you can meet Goofy, Donald, Chip and Dale, and sometimes a few others. They just kind of appear throughout the park. The princesses,
and then the princesses on the Fantasyland side of the castle, and it's usually Cinderella. Last time we were there, it was Tiana, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and Elena of Avalor. They vary. They will swap out all throughout the day, so just keep an eye out. And maybe your favorite one will be there at some point during your visit. So keep an eye out and ask a cast member. If you have a specific character that you are dying to meet, ask them how that is possible, or if that's possible.
Within the My Disney Experience app, you can see when the characters will be available and who. So check the Magic Kingdom side of the app so that you can see who's available and when and where. Now, they're all available during parades and during shows that feature those characters.
And I am going to throw out, some of the characters just don't make appearances. If your favorite character happens to be someone a little more obscure, there may not be a possibility for you to see them in real life, but sometimes there's ways around that. My favorite character is the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, and he doesn't make appearances. We've seen him only at Halloween time. And why is he a villain? He's not a villain.
He's misunderstood.
He is. He's a free agent. He works for himself, but he's not a villain. Anyway, he's my favorite. He doesn't often make appearances. But there is the Cheshire Cafe by the Mad Tea Party, and there's a little sign that has a Cheshire Cat and says Cheshire Cat Cafe. So you can get creative with how you get a picture with your favorite character.
My favorite one is Captain Jack Sparrow, and he is actually available for meet and greet and signing autographs and just talking about rum over near Pirates of the Caribbean.
I thought your favorite was Stitch.
Well, Stitch is okay. Okay, you got it. Stitch and Captain Jack. Stitch is available over in Tomorrowland. So anyway, look on the app and you'll find all kinds of characters at the Magic Kingdom out and about. The next one on the list is the Walt Disney World Railroad. Now, if you've never been to the Disney parks, namely Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, they are what they call castle parks. They're all surrounded by railroads, and that goes back to Walt Disney's love of the railroads. He had one on his property.
A small version
Of the Carolwood Pacific. The Lily Bell is the caboose on the Disneyland Railroad that's named after Lillian Disney, his wife. He loved the railroad. So
when he grew up watching the actual train, his uncle worked at the train station in Marceline, Missouri, and he loved to go watch the trains come in and go out from the depot. And now that train depot is the Walt Disney Museum, which is so cool to actually see the train go by.
That is a great thing you said. I was going to say great idea. I guess it doesn't sound an idea. It's a great point. There we go, yes. The Walt Disney World Railroad has 3 stations. It stops in Main Street, of course, right as you enter the park. It also has a stop near Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain in Frontierland. And it has a stop over in Fantasyland near Storybook Circus and Tomorrowland. That's all kind of one back station area that feeds both of those areas. It is a true classic when it comes to an attraction. It's not just travel. It's a way to get around the park, yes, but it is a ride or an attraction into itself. And I highly, highly recommend doing that if you've never been there. And it's a great place to get off your feet.
Yeah, don't fool yourself into thinking it's going to get you to the other side of the park faster than if you walked. It's not for that. But it will get you off your feet for a minute. But it really is just about the experience of riding the train around. There's a narrator that tells you what you're seeing. There's a couple of scenes set up that are just for the people on the train that you can't see from the rest of the park. It's just a really neat, very Walt Disney experience. And for that reason, we've made it a must-do. Next up on our list is going to be kind of an obvious one, but buy a souvenir.
You want to buy something that's going to be meaningful to you for the experience of being at the Magic Kingdom for the first time.
I almost said buy a pair of Mickey ears. That was my original thing, but that's not for everybody. So if ears aren't your thing, that's fine, but you should buy them anyway.
They are the most iconic thing in the park.
They are, and your photos just look so cute. But if that's not your thing, maybe collecting the pins is your thing. Maybe getting the free pin on Main Street is your thing. You can buy an ornament to celebrate. Remember your trip every single year when you put up your Christmas tree. You could buy a hoodie. You could buy a mug. You could buy 16 mugs. Not that we would ever do that.
Let's take a step back on that. That ornament, for instance, is really one of the more non-known things that you can get. At the Christmas store over in Liberty Square, you can buy an ornament and they will hand write anything you want. Well, not anything, but most anything on there. You know,
within reason.
Your name, the year, wish upon a star, something that's Disney. They can't put, Go Raiders on there or anything. But you can use it to commemorate your very first trip. And it's one of those things that a lot of people don't know exist. Yes, you can buy ornaments in the Emporium, which is the main store on Main Street, or Mickey Star Trader over in Tomorrowland. However, the real special ones and that special thing that you can have done in Liberty Square, that's the only place at Magic Kingdom you're going to find that.
Now, if you do find an ornament in the Emporium that you just love and you want to have, absolutely go ahead and get it. They will still personalize that for you at the Christmas shop in Liberty Square. It'll cost you a small fee just to do that personalization. They will also personalize the free buttons that you get that say First Visit or I'm Celebrating or whatever the button that you've chosen is, Happily Ever After.
Yeah, and those are available at Main Street at Guest Relations, which is City Hall. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the stores have them too. You just need to ask.
Yeah, they don't display those. You just need to ask for those. But yeah, getting it personalized is a really cool way to commemorate your trip. And definitely a must-do. You've got to have some kind of souvenir to remember your trip.
Next on our list is, again, one of the more iconic attractions, and that's the Haunted Mansion. If you listened to our Halloween episode, you'd heard all about Disneyland's Haunted Mansion. Well, Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion is just a little bit more grander, actually. It was a little longer attraction when they built it in Florida, and it's ever so haunted. 999 happy haunts, and there's room for 1,000.
And the Hatbox Ghost is going to be making his appearance this coming year as well.
That's right, the end of this month.
Pretty exciting. Oh, that's right.
Wait, the end of November here, yeah, just another week or so. The Haunted Mansion is a slow-moving dark ride through a haunted old colonial home along the shores of the rivers of America in Liberty Square. It is very dark inside. There are some jump scares, so things do jump out at you, but it's not scary. The original Haunted Mansion was designed by two different Imagineers, one who wanted it to be creepy, one who wanted it to be fun. So what did Walt Disney do? He put them together, and they are, together, one of the most iconic attractions ever built at any theme park.
And I think it's the only attraction that has gotten 2 unsuccessful Disney movies.
That is true. Very good point there. The Haunted Mansion is one of those attractions that is just a little bit scary, but mostly fun. So if you're there with littles, walk them through it on YouTube first so they know kind of what to expect. However, if you're there as just a Disney adult or a Disney fan, you must do the Haunted Mansion. It is a definite Disney must-do because it is just pure Disney fun.
I'm a giant scaredy cat. I hate anything scary. I hate anything with jump scares, anything with things that are dead that don't know they're dead. I'm not a fan. I love the Haunted Mansion. When all else fails, just close your eyes and listen to that great music.
And of course, hurry back.
Hurry back. Next up on our list, we're going to suggest that you watch a parade. Now, this is currently, the daytime parade is Festival of Fantasy. It is a fantastic parade. Even if you think that you're not a parade person, I'm not really a parade person. I still take time to watch this parade. It's where you're going to see the most bang for your buck as far as characters go, for sure. They bring them out of the woodworks. Ones that you haven't seen for years, you're going to see in parades. The star of this particular parade is the steampunk dragon.
Oh my gosh, he breathes fire.
He breathes fire. Actually, I guess that would be she.
I guess, yes, she breathes fire.
Yeah.
Yes. I believe it's reminiscent of Maleficent.
Yes, in dragon form. And she breathes fire. You see her inner workings because of the steampunk sort of aesthetic. And she's just phenomenal. You've probably seen pictures because she tends to be very photogenic.
Well, she caught on fire one time.
Well, yeah.
I know what it is with dragons catching on fire at Disney
and it was
recently.
Maleficent.
Yeah, it was oh, that's right.
It's the same.
I never thought of that. Oh my gosh.
But she's fantastic, and she is definitely a must-do.
If the parade is not available, if it's raining, they will do a rainy day cavalcade. And throughout the day, they also have shorter cavalcades that will come out at the Magic Kingdom that are just basic themes like adventure or princess, and those rotate throughout the season as well. So you may see something other than just a regular parade.
We do enjoy watching this from near the castle. It's sort of the quintessential Disney experience to have the castle in the background as you're watching the parade. You can also get a little snack and grab some corn dog nuggets, eat them on the hub grass while you're watching the parade. That's very quintessential Disney. But if you want a little bit of a less crowded view, you can also catch the parade from Frontierland. And it tends to be a lot less crowded over there. That's
a great point. The parade route is from over by Tiana's Bayou Adventure Splash Mountain, through Frontierland, across the bridge at Liberty Square onto the hub or the main area in front of the castle, down Main Street. So that is your main parade route for all of the cavalcades and parades at the Magic Kingdom.
And again, check your app for what time it's playing that day. Ask a cast member. One of our favorite questions as a cast member is what time is the 3 o'clock parade? We love that one. So
and yes, it does get asked. I was asked that working a parade shift at Magic Kingdom. So there you go. Along with that, our next must-do is watch the fireworks. Fireworks take place throughout the season, usually every night, but if there is a party going on, like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, then the fireworks may be for the party only. But otherwise, throughout the rest of the season, fireworks generally take place nightly at the Magic Kingdom.
And currently, that is Happily Ever After, We just got news recently that it is going to be going away again. I don't know why they're doing this. Happily Ever After is literally the perfect fireworks show. So if you have the ability, catch it while you can. It is phenomenal, and bring Kleenex.
Starting in January of 2024, Disney's Enchantment will be coming back. We don't hate that one. We just love Happily Ever After so much. So much that we've gone to see it several times at the fireworks dessert party. There are 3 different versions of the dessert party with varying prices. There's a before, an after, and a during. I guess that's the best way to put that. But they all take place at the Tomorrowland Terrace, which is the top right-hand corner of Main Street. So you're able to see the castle, the fireworks, and some of the projections that happen during that show. It's an additional expense. It's somewhere between $99 and $114, depending on which version you choose. It is definitely not a must-do. You don't have to do the dessert party. We love it. But the fireworks themselves are a definite must-do.
Our next must-do might be a little controversial. We are going to say that the next must-do is to ride It's a Small World. This is a classic Disney ride. It is in Small World. Everybody knows the song. You can go ahead and sing along as you ride. No one will care. They're all singing along too.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
This one is from the 1964-65 World's Fair, when Walt created this attraction to bring to mind that we are all the same. An interesting fact about this is all of the characters in Small World, all of the dolls, are all the same. They have different colored skin tones, but they are all the same. They're all the same features. So they're dressed differently, different skin tones, but again, bringing to mind a world where we all can get along because we all can smile at one another. We can all smile in the same language.
It really is a celebration of all nations together as one. It features that famous Sherman Brothers song that everybody's heard, even if you've never been to Walt Disney World. It's a Small World. And is a slow-moving boat ride. There is no height requirement. It is about 15 minutes long if you don't get stuck.
If you do, it's about 16 hours.
It feels that way, but it's almost a rite of passage to go on It's a Small World. It's hated, but it's beloved. So, if you are going to the Magic Kingdom, especially for the first time, you must do It's a Small World.
I'm also going to jump in here and say, when you are first loading the boat, when you first launch out of that dock, take a look up and look in the window of Pinocchio's Village House, which is right next door. It's a quick service restaurant that we do not recommend. But people can sit in the window and watch that load process. And there are signs up there that they can hold up in the window and suggest things for people on Small World to do, such as sing along or give a high five, or the things that they can see you do, wave at us, those kinds of things. So take a little glance up there, see if there's something that they're asking you to do. It's super fun to play along with the kids.
The next one on the list is one of my favorites, at least. I assume it's one of yours too, and that is to go into Adventureland and have a Dole Whip.
Dole Whip!
Dole Whip is a pineapple, non-dairy, soft serve, I guess is the way you put it. It's not ice cream, but it's a pineapple-flavored yumminess. Treat. Yeah, frozen treat. There we go. It is the quintessential Magic Kingdom snack food. It was started by Dole a long time ago, and since Dole has historically been a sponsor for the Tiki Room at the Magic Kingdom and at Disneyland, it is available as a snack right there by the attraction. It is so good and has been expanded into other flavors all around the Magic Kingdom and then all around the Walt Disney World Resort. You can get coconut. You can get raspberry. You can get orange. Some of these are dairy and some are non-dairy, so double check the signage if you have a dairy problem, but the signage will tell you what they are. It's one of those things that if you're just looking for a way to cool off in the summer heat in Florida, or even the winter heat, head over to Adventureland and look at Aloha Isle and Sunshine Terrace, and you will find those Dole Whip flavors that you're craving. Over in Fantasyland at Storybook Treats and at Cheshire Cafe over by the Mad Tea Party, you can find other flavors seasonally. They do change periodically.
They also offer advanced level treats, which is like the floats. They'll do like some sort of soda flavor topped with a Dole Whip flavor.
Or pineapple juice even. They do pineapple with pineapple.
Juice. I think that one's available all the time.
I love that one.
They also have one right now. It comes and goes, so check your app, check the menus. But they have one where it's a small pineapple upside-down cake topped with the pineapple Dole Whip. And it is also delightful. So, yeah, Dole Whip is definitely on our list. Next up on our list is a true Stacy must-do, and it is Conquering the Mountain Range. So this is going to be sort of the nickname that people have given this. So the mountain range would include Space Mountain in Tomorrowland, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Frontierland, and it used to be Splash Mountain, also in Frontierland. And
I think temporarily has been replaced.
Well, we're going to claim Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah,
it doesn't have mountain in the name.
But it's in and around in a mountain, so
we'll take it.
And with Splash being closed, it needed to be replaced by something. So
exactly.
We'll claim that mountain in the name of the mountain range, giving it currently 3, but when Tiana's Bayou Adventure opens, we'll be looking at it as 4 mountains, I think, at that point.
Absolutely. And that is a great way to hit all those coaster thrill type attractions. Big Thunder Mountain is my personal favorite of them.
Space Mountain was mine when I was a kid, but I can't ride it anymore. It's just so rough. But
it's painful.
With Christmas, yeah, we're going to be riding it for the Christmas party.
You got to.
You got to. The hardest one to get into at this point is going to be the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, just because of the length of the attraction queue. If you are using the Genie Plus that we talked about, that is a great one to try to use it for. And because those are the thrill attractions at the Magic Kingdom, they are definitely a Disney must-do. Next on our list is take a picture at the castle. The castle at Magic Kingdom is one of the most photographed features on the planet. It's in the top 3 things that people have taken pictures of and continue to take pictures of to this day. It is one of those things that if you are going to be there for the first time, stop and let one of the Disney PhotoPass people. You'll see them. They have cameras and they have Disney written all over them, basically. But they will take your picture, and that will be available on the app attached to your account on My Disney Experience.
Now, they will do this all the way down Main Street. You'll see them lined up to do this for you. Pick any one of them. They know what they're doing. They'll make it a good shot. If you want to get a selfie yourself and not pay for a professional photo, we're going to recommend that if you're looking at the castle from Main Street, from the hub, that you go around to your left-hand side. There's a path that goes behind the castle that way. It is completely guest accessible. You're not breaking any rules. It's just another way to go to Fantasyland. But you're going to get a side view of the castle. It's beautiful, you're a little closer to it, and you're not going to have a bunch of strangers in the background. So there's your pro tip. But no matter what you do, make sure that you get a picture with Cinderella's castle. And to close out our must-do list, we're going to go with, again, a Stacy tradition and give you the very latest and greatest, and that is Tron Light Cycle Run.
This attraction is amazing. It launches 0 to 55 in just a few seconds while riding atop what looks like a motorcycle, or if you're familiar with the film, a light cycle, and is the newest attraction in the park. It's over by Space Mountain in Tomorrowland, and that first launch is amazing. That's the only thing I can say.
The launch is actually like the best part of the ride.
Yeah, it's not a very long attraction, we'll just say it that way, but if you get a chance to use a lightning lane for this, do it in the near future. Right now, you still have to use a individual lightning lane, which is one you can purchase and get it first thing in the morning, like starting at about 7 a.m. if you're staying on property, or when park opens if you're not.
You can also do a virtual queue, which doesn't cost money, but it does run out very, very quickly.
Like within seconds on a busy day.
Now, again, like with any of the virtual queues and the individual lightning lanes, it's not a guaranteed shot to the front of the line. It's just going to make it a shorter queue for you. We're going to recommend also that if you decide not to ride Tron, it's just not your thing for whatever reason, still go see it at night. It is so stunning. It actually makes Tomorrowland look like Tomorrowland again.
I love that. The color changes that happen on the... It's almost like a tent.
I always
on the
say
outside.
shell.
It's like a shell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. Is visible from all around the whole west side of the park and is just stunning. Also, if you're outside the park, like at the Contemporary, go up on the 4th floor balconies or one of the restaurant areas and just look out, and boy, you can get quite a light show from there.
It's pretty cool. Now, the Tron vehicles are not for everybody. They don't fit certain body types, but at the backs of several of the trains, not all of them, but several of the trains, they do have more of a standard seat. So if you'd rather ride like that instead of on the motorbike, that is absolutely doable as well. And it gives more people a chance to experience the attraction, and it's still just as good.
And because this is the newest and greatest, and it's a roller coaster, it is definitely a Magic Kingdom must-do.
Now, we're not done. Just because we're finished with the must-dos, we still have a couple of honorable mentions that we're going to do. We each picked one that is our personal must-do that wasn't part of the list, but still, a Magic Kingdom day isn't complete without these. Rod, what's yours?
Mine is the Jungle Cruise. Again, going back to my years as a Jungle Cruise skipper, I can't skip the jungle if I can help it at Magic Kingdom. It's just a tradition for me. I absolutely adore, as you've heard us talk about the queues, I absolutely adore waiting in that queue because of the background radio that's going on through the queue. I absolutely love that.
So many people don't even notice it's there. They don't even hear it. And it's so, so funny.
Yeah, the Jungle Cruise is a boat ride through the rivers of the world. And it is a very punny attraction. Think of it as the attraction with the most dad jokes you've ever heard on a ride. It's one of those things, again, if you've ever seen anything for Magic Kingdom, you've heard of the world-famous Jungle Cruise.
And the backside of water.
And the backside of water. The eighth wonder of the world. O2H.
Gotta love it. I actually blame the Jungle Cruise for most of our family's sense of humor today.
That's a very good point, yeah. So, Sue, what is yours?
My honorable mention is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, TTA, Wedway, People Mover, whatever you want to call it. It is the slow-moving ride that goes through Tomorrowland, showing you sort of views of all of the different attractions available. I'm not really sure why it's a fan favorite, but I absolutely love it. A day at the Magic Kingdom is not complete without a ride on the TTA. I personally love it during fireworks, if we're not taking time to watch the fireworks. It is so magical to come around that corner and see the castle, which is my favorite anytime, but when the fireworks are going, it's even better.
I think why a lot of people like it is it generally does not have a long wait.
True.
And it is just a slow-moving attraction where you can just relax, again, and way to get off your feet without having to wait in a longer queue.
And without just sitting on a bench, like you're still on a ride.
Yeah, and if you go into Carousel of Progress or the Tiki Room or the Bears or some of the older shows that are there, you tend to fall asleep in the air conditioning. So if you're looking at a way to stay awake and still have a ride and not a long wait, the People Mover is the way to go.
It really is. And there's just some wonderful nostalgia involved probably that maybe for newer people it's not a thing. That's why it didn't make our must-do list. But for me, it is a must-do.
Well, let's talk about what you're going to do on trip number 2. So if there's a chance to get on all of the attractions at the Magic Kingdom, of course, by all means, do it, especially if you can get them through Genie Plus. However, here's a couple of attractions that we suggest that you could wait and do on trip number 2.
Yeah. Now, I first labeled this as a skippable list, and it's not skippable. To us, nothing at Disney is purely skippable, except maybe Tough to Be a Bug. But
that's going away. Thank you, Zootopia.
But nothing is truly skippable because it's all classic for a reason. So, like Rod said, this is our do on 2 list. This is the tackle on your second trip or your second day if you have 2 days at Magic Kingdom. And those things, you want to start us off?
Yeah, the number one thing I think for this is Peter Pan. Now, Peter, don't yell at me in the comments. The reason I say that is because it is so low capacity that the lines are huge from opening to close every day. Even the fast passes, or the Genie Pluses, I should say, reservations run out very quickly for this attraction because there's just so few of them available.
Now, you've heard us say how great the queue is for Peter Pan over and over again. We talk about it every time we talk about any kind of queue. But even with the Genie Plus, even with the great queue, you're still going to wait like at least 40 minutes, probably more like 90.
Yeah, on a busy day in the afternoon, it can get up between 90 and 2 hours. Which,
and let's be honest, no ride is worth that.
Well, especially at just a dark ride. It is a slow-moving dark ride, no height requirement.
It's pretty fantastic because you're flying in a pirate ship above London, and I mean it's pretty great as far as dark rides go.
It is, but it is fairly short too. So if you waited 90 minutes and you get a 75-second ride, generally you're feeling a little shortchanged. So
yes.
This is a great one to do if you're rope dropping. So if you go first thing in the morning, if you're there for one of the parties in the evening where it's not so crowded, or if you're able to get Genie Plus.
Or if you can go during fireworks or a parade. If you're willing to give up one of those things or you've already seen those things, it's a great time to do all of the Fantasyland rides, but you're going to find a shorter queue for Pan as well. Next up on this second trip list is going to be the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
Yeah, who thought it was a great idea to build a aerobic exercise attraction in the Florida heat? I don't get this ride. It's not even a ride. It's a walk-through attraction.
Walkthrough. With a lot of stairs.
Lots of stairs.
So it is great if you are a fan of the movie. I am a fan of the movie. I love the original Swiss Family Robinson. I'm so glad they have not remade it with like the Jonas Brothers or something.
That would be just scary.
I'm just glad that hasn't happened. I love the original movie. It's pretty fantastic. However,
High School Musical, The Treehouse. That's what they should have done, right there. No? No? Okay.
You also get a fantastic view from up there. You can see all across. It's a really, really beautiful view. If you're looking for an unusual Disney location to propose, this would be a great one. There's no one up there. You have a fantastic view. It's open at night, so you get the lights. Then get over.
Yeah, the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse is in Adventureland, and it is a walk-through attraction. It is not accessible to people with mobility issues. The last on the list is actually three-tiered, and these are the older audio animatronic shows. Now, I have a special place in my heart because I worked at Bears and Tiki at Disneyland. It's the Country Bear Jamboree, the Enchanted Tiki Room, and Carousel of Progress. All three of them are shows. They're great places to get out of the summer heat. However, the shows have been around since the 70s. They are really fun. Carousel of Progress is also from the 1964 World's Fair in New York. It's the history of technology, basically, throughout the years. And they talk about the turn of the century, which I think is hysterical. I almost said historical. It's both. But now the turn of the century is the year 2000. So that's how old the show is. The Country Bear Jamboree originally opened in 1971, also in Frontierland, and is a rollicking good time with a bunch of bears, and is about to change into a brand new show. I love that show. I was a lead at Country Bear Jamboree at Disneyland. It has a very, very soft spot in my heart. But if you've never been to Disney World, it's probably something that is easily put off to your second trip. Just on the other side of that in Adventureland is Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, which was one of the very first animatronic shows at Disneyland, or I should say the very first one.
I was going to say, it was the original one.
And so it was replicated at Magic Kingdom in 1971, and is very outdated in its
If you're
music.
a Disney nerd at all, change this to a must-do.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just
if you're
because
a
of the
Disney
historical
adult,
value.
Yeah.
The very last skippable on your first trip, this is, again, going to be a little controversial, and I'm sorry if anyone's feelings are hurt, but I'm going to say the stage show. It's a live show. We love live entertainment. The stage show will give you all the feels. It's going to make you tear up. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you see some characters, which are great. It's a fantastic show, but it's also a little bit of a time suck.
It's hard to avoid, though. It's right in front of the castle, so
You're going to see part of it.
You're going to see part of it whether you like it or not.
But actually stopping to see it, I don't know is worth the time on your first trip. On your second, make it a must-do, because it really is a great show.
If you have littles, you might want to just stop by and see at least part of it, just because there's a lot of characters that will come out. Or if you're there for either the Christmas party or the Halloween party, the stage show at the castle is seasonal.
Yes.
The Halloween party has got the Sanderson sisters, And the Christmas party, it's Mickey and Minnie and the gang doing Christmas everything, including, I believe, a stop by Santa.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll know actually very shortly, as we're going to be doing a review of the Christmas party in a very shortly upcoming episode.
Yes, stay tuned. But that is going to do it for our must-do Magic Kingdom list. I hope we did Stacy proud. We will also be doing these for Animal Kingdom and for Disney Hollywood Studios. At some point in the future, we're going to work our way through all the parks, maybe even Disney Springs. We talked about it.
We should definitely do Disney Springs.
Yeah. If you have a must-do on your list that we missed that you think is an absolute must for a first-timer, let us know in the comments, because I know some of these are personal preferences, some of them are nostalgia. So if we got something wrong, let us know. We're curious what you think.
Before we go, we'd like to give a big shout-out to our social media coordinator, Riley Piper, audio engineers Joey Humphrey and Paul Trett, and logo designer Evan Piper. Our theme music composer is Jason Patrick Rowan and is licensed through Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenician.
Thank you, Phoenicians. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. It really does help other people find us. You can find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production. Thanks for joining us today for episode 42 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see you in line.
Bye.
That indubitably.
Indubitably.